The regular season is winding down for the SEC's women's gymnastics squads. Both LSU and Kentucky are fighting for postseason position and respect. Tonight, they meet in Lexington. The winner will pick up its first conference victory. Fans are filing into Memorial Coliseum on the campus of the University of Kentucky here in Lexington. It is the final SEC meet for the home team as Kentucky hosts number 20 LSU here in Memorial Coliseum. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Drever along with Lori Strong-Ballard. Some enthusiastic young people are in the stands. Coach Chuck Dickerson is getting the Kentucky squad ready to go. And over on the other side of the floor, Dee Bro pumping up her troops. Let's go to Lori downstairs.
Well, Brian, with the SEC championships just weeks away, this is a crucial time in terms of fine-tuning and building confidence. Both LSU and Kentucky come in here after setting season highs last week, so it's important for them to build off of that success, especially considering they've both had up and down seasons. Now, for Kentucky's senior-led team, this is their third meet in 7 days. But their assistant coach, Chuck Dickerson, feels this rapid-fire competition will not only help prepare them for the postseason, it will help them get closer to their ultimate goal of hitting 4 strong events.
Now we look at the schedule and we're thankful that it's there. We have 2 meets this weekend, and we had 2 last weekend, so we're giving ourselves some opportunities now here at the end with the 6 meets in like 3 weeks. So I'm kind of glad it's there now. The bodies are a little tired with 4 kids doing 3 events or more, but everybody's tired. Everybody all over the country's tired. It's time to, step up, bow up, and get tough, and let's make it happen.
LSU's head coach, Dee Bro, takes pride in her team as one that starts slow but finishes strong. And not only did they set a season high last week, they broke the 196 barrier for the first time this year. She says her team is a group of fighters and feels they are on the right track.
This team has accepted every challenge, and they have continue to rally to the call, and they're extremely motivated to do what we ask them to do to get where we need to go. So I guess I'm pleased with the group that we have, but I keep telling the kids every week that we're passing through these rankings to get where we need to go.
Both Kentucky and LSU are strong on vault, where they are tied for 11th in the nation. But Kentucky set a school record on that event just last week, highlighted by a 9.95 from senior Felicia Richard. Now, LSU's highest ranking comes on beam, but that also happens to be the event that Kentucky has struggled the most on this year. So, Brian, we have 2 fairly evenly matched teams here. We'll see who stands out, the new young talent from LSU or the experience of a senior-led Kentucky team.
It should be a yummy meet here this evening, and we're looking forward to it. Hope you are too. Stay with us. The first rotation when we return. Tigers and Cats. Getting ready for the first rotation here as the top 20 ranked LSU Tigers take on Kentucky at home. Everybody's chalking up, getting set to go. Let's take a look at the opening lineups. Hi, Andrea Mitchell.
And as I mentioned before, Kentucky comes in here hot off a school record 49.4 on vault, only competing 5 athletes all year. Anything in that 49 range will be good. And for LSU, they need consistency here. Their top scorer is freshman Sari Morrison, who has 4 bar titles already this year.
Andrea Mitchell had a season best against Ohio State in that team high.
Oh, nice job on a Yurchenko full. It looked control and had just enough power.
Andrea Mitchell jogging away, confident that she's put up a nice mark for the team here, leading off.
And that's key on vault, being aggressive, but being able to apply that power to the technique and gaining consistency on the rise, the height, and the rotation to get the landing.
Equals her season best 2 meets in a row, 9.850 for Andrea Mitchell. Here's freshman Kaylee Dixon. She's actually a red shirt for the Tigers.
And Kaylee crashed in warm-up today on her mount, the hop change. See if she can make that adjustment here. She came down really hard on her shin. Great job. Hop change into a high Jaeger. Flex toes, though. Little leg separation there on her bail to handstand.
Season best 9.80 against Georgia.
Nice job on her final handstand. She has a big, difficult dismount coming up here. 2 rotations and a full twist. Steps on the landing, but a great comeback routine after that crash in warm-up.
Little hop out on the dismount there. That'll be a 10th or so. Let's take another look.
She's been competing in the all-around this year and gaining momentum as the season goes on. There, you can see her Jaeger, a little bit of a deduction for the legs and toes.
9.775, so just off her season best mark. Nice job, though. Kaylee Dixon walking away. Here's Jasmine Binion next up for Kentucky on a vault, another one of the seniors.
to get that big high 49 score, they need to see some sticks. Oh, not a bad job there. Tiny hop on the landing, but they will have to take about a 10th deduction.
She had a 9.925 against Auburn. Will it be that high? We'll have to wait and see as we take another look at the vault.
So far, Kentucky's given away a little bit on their landings, but Jasmine gets a great pop off the vaulting table that gives her good height and nice body position in the air.
There it is, 9.875. Another nice number there for the Kentucky team as they are in the first rotation. We move to LSU freshman Sarah Zoldos.
And right now, LSU has one low score of a 9.375. One of their athletes took an extra swing, so they need a hit here so they can drop that score. Half into a Pike Jaeger, well done.
9.850, the mark she's trying to hit, her season best.
Bail to handstand directly into a toe circle, back up to the high bar. And to hit those vertical positions in the handstands. Giant half, double front.
Little step back, but she saved it.
Probably one of the best routines for Sarah. And LSU needed a good, strong routine right now. Take a look at the dismount. It's a double front. It has a blind landing. You can see the feet hit, and then she reacts. She does take the step back for a 10th deduction.
Equaling her season best, 9.850. Smiles all around, and a high five from Dee Bro. As the first rotation will continue, we'll come back with more. Action in the first rotation here continues. LSU coach Dee Bro having a word as Samantha Engel gets set to go, the senior out of Plano, Texas, on the uneven bars.
Now Sam injured her ankle at the start of the season. She's slowly starting to get back into more lineups. Bars and beam today, they'd like to see her back on floor as soon as possible.
Been solid on most of the apparatus, but hampered by that injury.
Half turn to an eagle grip, back to reverse grip into a Horkina release element. This bar routine is very interesting and it has a high scoring potential. Great job on her bail to handstand. Stick straight position in the vertical.
Season best 9.825 against Georgia.
It's a tough dismount. Same as Sarah's earlier double front, and she comes in with not enough rotation. Sits it down for 5/10 deduction.
Unlike Sarah Zoldos before her, who did save it, she goes down, and that's going to be a major deduction.
And this is the senior who has a lot of competition experience. That's a look at her Horkina release element. The routine itself was great until the dismount. She comes off a little bit flat. If you rush it and don't finish the tap into the air, you don't get enough height and enough air time to finish the double front.
9.325, disappointing for Engel and for Coach Dee Bro. The Kentucky Wildcats put up a school record 49.4 against Ohio State last time, and Whitney Rose talks about how fun that was.
Obviously, it's a big deal when you only have 5 vaulters. You kind of like try not to think about that, but it's there in the back of your mind. And but we just decided to take advantage of those scores in a different conference and just have a good time and just try to go after those landings. And so that was just a huge, huge just encouragement to keep pushing on through all these meets. So.
And Whitney was last year's regional champ on vault, and that qualified her to the national championships. And now she and her teammates are in the history books over there at Kentucky with a school record. Nice job on her Yurchenko full. She gets tremendous distance on that vault, and from that angle you can see that she is fairly squared down the landing mat.
9.9 a couple of times this season.
Judges are looking at the shoulder angle on the repulsion, on the block from the table. They want to see it open. That means they are going up into the air.
9.825 off that hop on the dismount there for Whitney Rose. And as a team, not quite the school record, but a 48.950, a good solid first rotation for the Wildcats.
But knowing what they are capable of, I don't think they will be totally happy with this. They did give away a few tenths on landings.
Sari Morrison goes on the uneven bars as the Tigers try to wind up their first.
The 2 big mistakes here. LSU will be forced to count a 9.375, so that adds more pressure to get a big score here. And their freshmen stand out. Nice job on her Pike Jaeger. That's an E-level skill.
She has put up a 9.90 this year already.
Gaining speed into her dismount. Full in, back out. Hips come back a little bit on the landing. She takes a step for 1/10 deduction.
There are those little deductions on the dismounts, but thankfully it was not a big one while she was up on the apparatus.
Can you believe that she is 5'9" tall? That is extremely tall for a gymnast, but that makes this event look that much more impressive. We saw a pike Jaeger, very difficult to do with long legs and that kind of height and a big dismount.
9.825. That'll do for Sari Morrison, and for the LSU Tigers, they put up a 48.575, trailing Kentucky a bit here on the first rotation.
The Tigers will have to count a fall here, and the toughest miss was Sam Engel, a senior who normally scores big. Sari Morrison came back with a big routine and a high score at the end.
Dee Bro trying to pump up her LSU Tigers for the second rotation. Will be back as Kentucky leads by 0.4. We're ready for the second rotation. Apparently the fans here in Memorial Coliseum are as well, as Kentucky has just a little bit of a lead here after one. Coach Chuck Dickerson getting them set to go on the uneven bars. LSU will be on vault.
And LSU can make up some ground here, but landings will be crucial, and they are this year without heavy hitters like Susan Jackson and Ashley Claire Kearney, who were both national champions on this event. Sari Morrison comes close as their best scorer, and Kentucky needs to show improvement on their consistency on bars and start fine-tuning some of those details to get the big scores.
Sophomore Erica Garcia from Mexico City.
Good fight on the landing of a Yurchenko full. Nice position in the air.
Erica Garcia leading off.
That's something Dee Bro has been encouraging her athletes to do this year, to show some fight in everything they do. You can see her arms pulling out in front, trying to gain that balance for the stuck landing.
Erica Garcia with a 9.700, just short of her best score for the season, but a smile on Dee Bro's face as we go to Felicia Richard, another of the seniors for Kentucky.
Felicia has been scoring in that 9.75 range this year.
9.775 3 times this season.
Giant half into a Jaeger, directly into a shoot over. Some deductions for soft feet and knees as well. Short on the handstand there. Those are the details they really want to clean up to try and boost these scores to those 9.9s. Oh, big dismount, huge difficulty, and she stuck the landing.
Beautiful landing on that. Very busy dismount, but she managed to keep it all together and put it directly to the floor.
There's a look at her release element. She does it in combination and directly into the shoot over, but this dismount is impressive in terms of difficulty. She comes off a little bit flat, a little bit quick, but she adds a full twist to it. That is bigger than anyone else in this competition.
Her highest score for the season, 9.850, brings a big smile to her face. LSU sends junior Ashley Lee from Vacaville, California next.
Oh, beautiful vault. Yurchenko full. Almost sticks the landing.
She's looking for a 9.90. That's her season best. She did against Arkansas.
You see some good fight on the landing here. Nice straight, stick straight position in the air. Maybe a slight pike down. If she hollowed that down a little bit and bent the knees to absorb the power, we'd get the stick.
9.850. Very satisfying score, no doubt, as we turn our attention quickly to Kentucky's Story Morris, junior out of Tyler, Texas.
So far, Kentucky has 3 hits on this apparatus. Got some interesting skills here, starting with a toe onto handstand, directly into a Tkachev.
Morris won the uneven bars apparatus against Ohio State.
Very precise in all of her movements. Nice job on a fail to handstand, toe on back up to the high bar. But you can see she caught that toe on up on her fingertips. It slowed down her speed, and she was short on her handstand, but great on the landing there.
Another nice dismount there for the Kentucky Wildcats. Story Morris should put up a nice score with this.
Most do flyaway type dismounts from a giant swing and then release. She does a toe on front half. It's a little bit different, but also a little less difficult.
9.700. That might be just a little bit disappointing for Story Morris and for Kentucky as we look at Dee Bro. She's still trailing, but we'll be back. We continue in the second rotation here. LSU trailing Kentucky by a bit, but looking for an opportunity to make it up. LSU sends freshman Malia Mathis out of San Antonio, Texas.
We'll see a different vault, a half instead of a full. It's still scored out of a 10.
Ooh, big step forward.
Big step out on the landing. This is a better vault than generally the scores have indicated this year. She has pretty clean lines in the air. It's quick and powerful, but you can see here in the second half of the rotation, right there, she drives her heels. That increases her rotation and forces her to take a step on the landing. I'm sure with a little more time with the vaulting coach, Bob Moore, they will soon get the best out of this vault.
9.750, a little bit disappointing. Here's Andrea Mitchell on the uneven bar. She was ranked number 1 in floor exercise to start the season, currently 24th in the all-around.
Kentucky's on a roll. They have 4 hits so far. Big release skill here in combination. Front giant half into Tkachev, and she is off.
That always looks so dangerous, but she missed the low bar. Now she's got to walk away and try to gather herself. She's going to be able to rejoin the routine, but take a look at what happened here.
This is a new skill in her bar routine, but she has not missed it in 7 meets straight. It's called a Tkachev, and if you release just a second late, you will go too high and too far. You can see her fingertips touch the bar, but she was unable to regrasp.
Now, how does she put herself back into that routine and continue?
Well, she did look a little unsure on how to restart this routine. Remember, she has not missed it all year. You can see there she had a little trouble with her straddle back. Normally, she would catch it with tremendous speed. She didn't have enough speed to take that straddle back to handstand. Now gaining the speed there into the dismount and nails the landing.
Too bad she came off because that dismount was nearly perfect for Andrea Mitchell. 8.975. She's paying for a very big mistake on the uneven bar routine. Now here is Sari Morrison. We saw her on the uneven bar. She is so very tall. How does she feel about that?
Basically in 8th grade is when I had a growth spurt, and then I just kept on growing and growing. But at first it was a challenge. You know, I had to kind of relearn everything and get all my timing back. But I've been this height for a while now, and I love it. And I think it's an advantage to me because I look different from everyone else when I'm out there competing. So it's kind of something different to look at, and the lines are more elegant and long, and I really like it.
Everything she does just looks that much bigger and explosive, especially here on vault. Nice job. Good discipline on the landing, really trying to find that stuck position. You know, gymnasts learn many of their skills at a very young age, and if they grow all of a sudden, it changes their center of rotation and the timing of those skills, and she did have to relearn a lot of them, especially on bars. But here, she is so athletic that she's able to push that 5'9" body over the vaulting table and get a good explosive vault.
Towering over a few of her teammates, 9.875 for Sari Morrison, as you can see, putting up a 48.925 score on vault for LSU.
This vaulting lineup should score over a 49 every time out. They are that good, but today landing deductions dropped that score. They may have been a little conservative or tight after mistakes on bars.
Kentucky sends Caitlin Chikilo, sophomore out of Brooklyn, Michigan, on the uneven bars.
From giant to a Weiler kick. Nice job taking it up through the handstand position into her Jaeger release element. Little hesitation there on the pirouette.
Caitlin had a win this year against Arkansas and a season best score of 9.875.
A hit here will give Kentucky 5 out of 6 hit routines. They need it. Double layout nails the landing.
They get it from Caitlin Chikilo. Looked good from start to finish. She's plenty happy, and so are her teammates.
She is the anchor and has plenty of experience here, competed in all 13 meets last year and every meet this year, and you can see that on the details of the landing. Absolutely stuck.
9.875 for Chikilo, and she adds up the score, 48.975 for Kentucky as a team, equaling their season best.
And this team pulled together to cover up the fall from Andrea Mitchell, and that helps Kentucky pull even a little more ahead of LSU.
They now lead by .425 after 2. We're ready for the third rotation here at Memorial Coliseum. Fans getting some refreshments, and Kentucky enjoying a slight lead here at the halftime mark. Let's go to Laurie with assistant coach Chuck Dickerson for Kentucky.
Well, Coach, 2 under your belt, and you've got the lead. What do you think so far?
Not bad so far. We, did what we needed to do on vault. No sticks, but good effort. Big vaults, and bars was pretty decent. Good finish with Chikilo at the end, and got to move forward now. Hit 2 more events to go, and we should be okay.
After mistakes earlier this year on beam, you've pretty much totally rehauled the lineup. Tell us what changes you've made and why.
Well, absolutely. We've kind of felt like we put our rock first, and Felicia has been real solid. Who knows? Beam can be a beast with anybody, but she's been solid, and just kind of redone the order more than anything, and to try to get that snowball going uphill.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Kentucky getting ready to go on the balance beam. LSU will go on floor exercise. Here are the lineups for both teams, and LSU will send Malia Mathis in the anchor position. She is coming off a near perfect 9.975 in the most recent meet. One of the judges even gave her a 10. But as Kentucky gets set to go, Felicia Richard, who will lead off, knows that her team has struggled recently on this apparatus.
It's been a little bit tough, but I mean, we just had to go back in the gym and keep staying motivated to, do our best. And physically we know we can do it. It's more so mentally. So when we get up there, we just got to be strong mentally, and things should turn out great.
And on beam, Kentucky pretty much melted down last week against Alabama. 5 out of 6 fell, and the frustrations were high. So Coach Heather Height went back to the drawing board and totally changed their lineup. And one of the major changes is putting Felicia Richard first. They feel that she has been solid and consistent. They call her their rock on the balance beam. They want to start off strong and confident.
Let her set the tone for the rest of the team. If she can hit, maybe they'll follow suit. Felicia Richard, 9.8253 times this season.
Nice and aggressive on the landing of her back handspring layout. That is her tumble series. Another salto element there. And aerial, again, you can see her being aggressive with the arms, pulling them down after the lunge position. Trying to avoid any wobbles or falls. Cat leap, switch side. A little bit of a chest down issue there, but no major wobble. Nice amplitude in her straddle jump to a back tuck, aggressive again with the arms. It's a hit.
Round. Yes, nicely done for Felicia Richard. Putting her in leadoff was a new change. Maybe it's a good one.
Once again, she comes through as the rock. You can take a look here at her straddle jump, getting that 180-degree split. She wants to continue with that rhythm and momentum into the back tuck to get the connection bonus.
Just short of her season best score, 9.80. That's a good solid mark for Richard to put up for her team. We'll switch our attention now to Ashley Lee on the floor exercise. There you can see her top score is a good one.
And LSU has scored over a 49 in their last 3 straight meets, with their season high coming last meet against Georgia. Opening with a double tuck. It's clean, legs glued together. Not huge difficulty, though. They really do need a season high performance tonight on floor to help close that gap with Kentucky.
They've been trailing through each of the first 2 rotations. This might be their opportunity to make up some ground.
Routine started off with some great drum music. It caught your eye and your attention. Now she draws you in with the rest of the choreography into her second pass. Whip half, front layout, clean and solid.
Ashley Lee Jr. from California. First team All-American in vault last year.
Absolutely one of the leaders on this team. They are young, so they value her for her experience as well as her work ethic and her leadership. Final tumbling pass. Front full, front tuck, almost misses the punch. What a fight for the landing.
Just a little step there at the end. Nice punctuation at the finish of her routine. Ashley Lee done with floor exercise.
Each of the tumbling passes were clean. That is good, but the difficulty was just a little bit low. She starts here with a double tuck. Some of the biggest floor workers finish with that tumbling pass.
9.700 for Ashley Lee. Getting a word from Coach Dee Dee Bro. We move back to the balance beam, and Andrea Mitchell.
Of course, Andrea has to put behind the mistake she made on bars, an uncharacteristic mistake there. Hit a routine for Kentucky here on beam. Thinking of her rhythm, being aggressive into the back handspring layout. Well done.
Put that fall on the uneven bars behind her.
She fell last week against Alabama on this skill right here. Makes the correction. Perhaps not fully completed, though. There might be a small deduction there.
She certainly won't be a factor in the all-around after that fall.
Switch leap into a back tuck. Back leg was a little low on the switch leap.
So good so far.
Very difficult dismount coming up. Double rotation, round off, double back. Oh, nails the landing, outstanding.
Very well done for Andrea Mitchell. Looked good on the apparatus, just a little wobble here and there. Dismount was solid. Let's take a look.
You could see the confidence was there. She was thinking throughout the routine, but did she finish big with this dismount? An E-level skill, and she nails the landing. That makes a statement to your team saying, hey, let's get this done.
Coach Heather Hyde right there with her. 9.850 for Andrea Mitchell. The whole team's happy with that performance. And we'll have more from the third rotation when we come back. We continue here in the third rotation at Memorial Coliseum with Whitney Rose getting set to go on the balance beam. This junior out of Frisco, Texas for Kentucky.
Whitney's competed beam for the first time in a while. She's another one of Kentucky's big lineup changes, and she told me she was excited for the opportunity to get back in the lineup, and she felt ready.
Oh! Not ready for that. A fall on the beam already, half-point deduction right off the bat.
Big mistake on a tuck jump, full turn, a very difficult jump. Usually you see the athletes falling on the tumble skills like that back handspring layout. That's a tough way to start the routine as well. Certainly she is feeling a little shaken up right now. To stay focused and not second guess herself on the rest of her skills.
Her season best score came in the opening meet of the year, a 9.525.
Good job on her aerial. Her skills are nice. You can see the quality is there. She has beautiful lines in her arms, nice pretty toe point in everything that she does. So this could be a clean routine with a little bit more experience under her belt.
Just hasn't had a lot of time to work on it this year, at least in competition.
Dismount, round off 1.5.
Big step out on the dismount too. That's going to be another deduction, and Whitney Rose has had a balance beam routine she might want to forget about.
Twisting jumps have a high difficulty rating because they are risky. There's a lot going on in this jump. There's the turn, you have to get enough height, the knees need to be at a 90-degree angle. You can see when she jumps, she actually travels a little bit to the right, catches her toes on the beam, and slips off.
9.1 for Whitney Rose, for Heather Height, and for the Kentucky team. A little bit of a disappointment. Again, floor exercise, it's Sari Morrison that's up here, the freshman out of Dallas, Texas.
Opening pass is a difficult one. Oh, a double Arabian. You can see she's crooked in the air. Her legs buckled on the landing. That's a 5/10 deduction.
Right off the bat, again, we're seeing errors on both sides and from both teams.
I've seen a few good fights tonight from LSU, and that's what Dee wants to see from her team, but they do not look polished right now. You have to keep in mind they're coming off a season high against Georgia last week, so they could be feeling a little bit of that emotional drain after having such a great competition. Second pass is a front layout to a front full. Combination of two front elements for connection bonus. And that's something about being a young team. You have to learn how to come off these emotional highs and still be able to come back a week later and be strong, especially in the SEC when you're meeting a lot of these top teams in the country week in and week out.
Pressure in the SEC is relentless. The best teams in the nation are your weekly opponents.
Off a little personality before her final tumbling pass. It's a combination pass as well. Front tumbling, front full, front pike. Great job on the landing, avoiding stepping forward and out of bounds.
Sari Morrison finishing up her floor exercise for the Tigers.
The difficulty was definitely a step up in this routine. She started off with an E-level tumbling pass. See, she rushes it just a little bit, holds onto that tuck position. She almost felt like she was stalled in the air, so had to hold onto it. Her knees buckle on the landing for a 5/10 deduction.
9.375 is the result as we go back to the balance beam. Caitlin Chikilo, the sophomore out of Brooklyn, Michigan, once again.
And Kentucky is still hanging in there. They only have one fall with a hit here. This would be a major success for Kentucky and no counting fall. And Ariel is aggressive to a tuck jump.
Chikilo competed in the first couple of meets, then she was off for a few, came back with a 9.5 against Auburn, so she's got limited exposure on balance beam this season in competition.
You can see her talking to herself right there, giving herself those key corrections before this tumble series. What do? I nail it. Back handspring layout, well done. The team, especially senior Andrea Mitchell, is cheering and supporting her every move.
They know how important this rotation is and this apparatus is for their continued upward motion.
Just a dismount, hops on the landing, but a big smile.
Yeah, she's pretty happy with all of that. Probably will take that little hop on the landing. The rest was really nice.
The tumble series was key. Once an athlete gets through that, usually they're feeling a little more comfortable in the routine, but it wasn't until this dismount that she knew she had this hit.
9.725, her high score for the season by a fair margin. Caitlin Chikilo has anchored Kentucky to a 48.6 team score. That's only a 10th off their season best.
And Felicia Richard did a brilliant job first up to set the pace, and Caitlin anchored under pressure, but with a big hit.
Malia Mathis now will go for LSU. This freshman out of San Antonio, Texas, the youngest of three siblings. She had a 9.975 against Georgia, the top scorer in the country.
A score like that would go a long way here. Opening huge with a double layout, maybe just a tiny bit short on the landing. That's an E-level skill and one of my favorite skills. Leah definitely has some spring in her tumbling. It shows off well, especially in this second tumbling pass. Nice high front tuck, step out into a double back.
The enthusiasm of youth. This freshman certainly showing a vivacious routine here.
She has the athletic ability to do some big tumbling. She just has to watch the details. Watch her feet in some of the choreography, especially the chassés, where she has a tendency to flex her feet. And of course, get some really clean, solid, no movement landings.
Final pass.
Strong difficulty to the end with a double pike.
Nicely landed.
Very good job on trying to stick that landing. Well done.
Malia Mathis finishing up on floor exercise for the Tigers. The team's over there to congratulate her. Take another look.
Head coach Dee Dee Bro has told me that this team has challenged her to have patience this year, and tonight they've been up and down. Definitely up with this great routine, opening with that double layout.
Still high fives all around for Malia Mathis as she puts up a 9.825 and adds to the team total 48.650, a little short of their season best. LSU faltering a bit on floor exercise.
Just a little off today. Too many 9.6s that could be 9.8s with more dynamic tumbling and better landings.
Kentucky maintains their lead through 3 rotations. In the 4th rotation here at Memorial Coliseum, Kentucky still leads LSU, and little fans are enjoying themselves here. They're not much concerned about who wins, only enjoying themselves as we look at Felicia Richard getting set to go. Dee Dee Bro with the LSU Tigers. Here are the rotations for both teams.
And great news for Kentucky. Not only do they have the lead, but they head to one of their best events. And LSU's on the event that they are highest ranked on, but Dee Dee Bro told me that this is not necessarily their best event. The Tigers will truly be tested here on beam.
Felicia Richard, the senior from West Chester, Ohio, goes for Kentucky. And for the all-around competition, she pretty much just needs to stay in the building. She has benefited from falls by her opponents, and she holds a pretty good lead in that all-around competition.
But we also have to give credit to Felicia, who has been strong and consistent on 3 events, averaging about a 9.8. Opening with a sky-high double pike, and she won the all-around title against Georgia a few weeks ago. She's an athlete who seems to really fight for everything and to get up for these big competitions. Switch side into a popa.
Real solid in their lineup on all events.
Teammates on the sideline cheering her on, dancing along with her into her second tumbling pass, front full to a front full. Big difficulty in that combination front tumbling pass. Athletes are looking for 5/10 of bonus points to get that 10-0 start value. You get that through difficulty or connection bonus in both the tumbling as well as the leaps and jumps.
You have the 3rd highest vault score in the country, 9.95 this season.
A deep breath before that final tumbling pass. The routine is about 90 seconds long, and it is go, go, go from start to finish. Great Rudy to finish. Nice job.
Yes, Felicia Richard finishing up not only the floor exercise, but her part of the all-around competition, and could very well, apparently will, walk away with that all-around title out of this meet.
Keeping the energy and the confidence of this team sky high, as well as showing some big tumbling like that opening double pike.
9.875 will more than do it for Felicia Richard. She will be our all-around winner here this evening, but we turn our attention to sophomore Shelby Prunty for LSU. She'll lead off on balance beam.
Important position, mounting with a stag jump. Not a difficult mount, but something that securely gets you on the beam and gets your rhythm and momentum going. Nice job on her first salto element in connection.
Her career best on this apparatus came in the NCAAs, finished 9th.
Preparing for a tumble series here. Back handspring, layout. Pretty smooth, solid on the landing.
Nice and solid, good so far.
Ups the difficulty on a required full turn by doing it with the leg at horizontal position.
Through 3 rotations, this was really anybody's meet to win or lose. They've been so close through all 3.
Switch leap to a sheep jump. So far, this has been a great routine.
Led off all last season on both balance beam and uneven bars.
Cartwheel gainer full, finds the stuck landing. She got the job done. This is what Dee Dee would expect from her.
Nice solid routine for Shelby Prunty.
Not huge difficulty, but a solid, well-focused start. Here's the dismount, a gainer full. They are required to do at least a C-level dismount. That meets the requirement.
9.775, just short of her career best score, but a good one as we go to Whitney Rose on floor exercise.
Kentucky competed twice last weekend, and Whitney went 9.85 and 9.825. 2 great scores on floor for her.
9.85 twice, both against Alabama and Georgia. She gets up for the big meets.
Opening pass, it's a double pike.
Oh, she is down on the mat and apparently hurt, holding her left knee. Whitney Rose has come down awkwardly on that left leg, and she's in obvious pain.
Oh no, I'm not sure what went wrong here. It didn't look bad from the start.
Both coaches and some medical assistants over there, and obviously the crowd is very concerned. There's a hush in the building. Take another look here.
The tumbling pass is a double pike. It looks great through the round back handspring and on takeoff, but on the landing, yes, her back foot is a little bit back and out to the side just slightly. That could have caused an awkward angle on the landing.
Forced her knee in. She collapses to the edge of the mat, and both teams are in shock here as Whitney Rose is being tended to. She clearly is not going to continue, and that job will go to Sari Morrison for LSU. She'll go up onto the balance beam with the entire building watching elsewhere. It's got to be difficult to compete with such a distraction. It's not your teammate, but it is a fellow athlete.
Absolutely. As much as you want to block it out, you do feel the mood in this arena.
Oh, the arena's reacting to Whitney Rose coming to her feet.
So important for her to maintain focus here. Wobbles on the front aerial.
Has to be such a huge distraction, all that activity going on right next to you.
Missed the first connection. Hit the back tuck to back tuck, but again, another wobble. She needs to stay within her bubble. Mentally stay strong, talk herself through this routine. Unfortunately for Whitney Rose, being carted off in the background. Oh, and she's off the beam.
Sari Morrison, the freshman, off the beam. She gets right back up there, has to pick her routine up where she left off as best as possible.
Her leap and jump connection, a switch leap to a tuck full. Difficult jump. 5/10 deduction. Oh, and you can see she's off already on the aerial.
Can't say
Lacked the rotation, chest was down, another 5/10 deduction.
That's 2 falls on the same routine. The disappointment on her face is obvious as Whitney Rose is taken back to the locker room behind her. We'll try to get some word on her condition.
This is sometimes the adjustments you have to make in competition. She is a great gymnast, but today definitely off. Dee Dee speaks so highly of her stability and fight. Truly mistakes out of character.
But a very difficult condition under which to try to perform here on the balance beam.
There's the tuck full. We saw a mistake earlier on that same element from a Kentucky gymnast, and the aerial. Chest is way too low. It is flat. She needed to get down in the front leg and let it rise up into the air.
So Sari Morrison at 8.400. Problems continue for LSU. They are definitely off their game here this evening, and the Wildcats are definitely trying to gather themselves and maintain their focus with the lead. Welcome back. Kentucky enjoying a lead. As we look at Jasmine Minion, preliminary word from Whitney Rose is that she has torn her ACL, definitely a knee problem there on the landing and floor exercise. But we will watch Jasmine Minion, the senior from Memphis, Tennessee.
My heart certainly goes out to Whitney Rose, and this is a huge hit for Kentucky, not necessarily for the meet tonight. With 2 hits here, they could still get their first SEC win, but it could hurt the future of their season, especially on vault, where they've been only vaulting 5 athletes. Opening with a big E-level full in back out.
She earned a 9.925 in the home opener, but last time out against Ohio State, a low score, 9.7 for Jasmine Minion. She's trying to bounce back from that.
The great news here, though, is that they do have 2 seniors anchoring their lineup. That means they have some experience behind them to help deal with the emotional issue of having one of their top athletes go down with injury.
Just have to continue on. She's in good hands. Whitney Rose being cared for properly. The rest of the team just has to go on with what they do.
A smile on her face through the routine, trying to still pull out that great performance level, as well as tumbling last pass, double back. Great job of actually opening up for the landing. She knew exactly where she was.
Jasmine Minion finishing up for Kentucky on the floor exercise and putting the injury to teammate Whitney Rose behind her with a nice routine.
Keep in mind, the injury came just before this routine, and then they had to stand on the sidelines. She got cold, but then came back with that big E-level skill and hit it no problem.
9.850, good solid score for Jasmine Minion there. She has a word with Andrea Mitchell, who will go next, but we're going to turn to Erica Garcia, the sophomore from Mexico City.
Boy, Beam has been tough on LSU tonight. 2 counting falls already, starting with a press handstand in a split position.
No chance of gaining back on Kentucky the points that they have lost here in this 4th rotation. It'll take a big meltdown by the Wildcats for LSU to come back.
Tumble series here. Back handspring layout, 2 foot, a tough one. She keeps it square down the 4-inch wide beam. You know, sometimes this is the hardest way to compete when you know there's little hope for your team to win it, but you still have to fight through it. And you know Dee Bro is keeping a close eye on this athlete to see how she's handling this circumstance.
Season best 9.850, Garcia on the balance beam.
Leap series, switch leap to a split with a quarter. You also have to keep in mind that LSU was not only looking for the win here, but they were looking for a strong road score to help boost their RQS. That's their regional qualifying score. And that will determine what region and what seed they will compete in at regionals. The regional qualifying score takes your 6 scores, and 3 must be away meets. So they needed a score here.
Erica Garcia finishing up on the balance beam. Earlier, she made her debut this season in floor exercise.
Tumble series was solid. Back handspring, layout, 2 foot. Good set of the arms. You can see at this angle, she stays square, hip square, feet solid.
9.625 for Erica Garcia. That adds to the balance beam score. They have a rough outing here. Look at the falls they've counted on beam.
That's a good 2 points below where they should be at this time of the season. This was a rough go for LSU on the beam.
Andrea Mitchell had a fall, otherwise she might have an all-around title, but she's going to finish it up on floor exercise, put a punctuation mark on what is going to be a Kentucky win over LSU.
Their first SEC win of the year, and all she has to do is put this routine on her feet without any injuries.
She had a 9.95 in the season opener, a 9.875 against Ohio State last time out. She's on a roll.
Beautiful opening pass with a double pike. Not huge difficulty. It's a D skill. She gets a 10th of bonus, but her legs were glued together from the round off back handspring to the landing.
Except for that fall on the uneven bars, she'd have a very good night going.
She's absolutely one of the top all-arounders on this team.
Number 1 in floor exercise to start the season. We've mentioned that.
With 1.5 front tuck. You have to keep in mind this is Kentucky's 3rd meet in 7 days. So we did mention earlier that fatigue could be an issue.
But Andrea Mitchell seems to be having fun here to finish up the night. For the Wildcats in victory, apparently.
Her energy looks high as she's preparing for her final tumbling pass. It's not an easy one. Down off by handspring, double salto in the tuck position.
Little step back, but solid all the way through for Andrea Mitchell, who has put a solid ending on what's going to be Kentucky's first conference win.
Well done for Kentucky, no counting falls, and that was a major goal tonight. Second tumbling pass, 3 directly connected salto skills, good rhythm and power.
9.850, her 3rd score at that number, except for the fall on uneven bars. And Andrea Mitchell finishes up with a 49.050, just off their season best Kentucky in floor exercise. The seniors, Jasmine Minion and Andrea Mitchell, doing a great job of maintaining their focus despite the injury to teammate Whitney Rose. Wish her the best. But Kentucky puts up a new season high score, 195.575 to beat LSU. And Felicia Richard earns the all-around, taking a 9.75 on the vault. She moved on to the uneven bars where she earned a 9.85. And then after a 9.80 on the balance beam, she went to the floor exercise to finish it up at 9.875, earned the individual all-around title, and a share of Kentucky's first win. She's with Lori and Coach Heather Height.
Thanks, Brian. Heather, through some tough circumstances with the injury to Whitney Rose, your team still pulls out their first SEC win. What do you think of the team's fight tonight?
Oh, I'm so proud of them. You know, it's hard to come back with something like that. She's one of our hype-up girls. You know, she's always telling everybody how good they are and always out there giving her best. And it's hard to come back from that. And the 2 girls, thank goodness, are seniors and they know how to handle themselves. And they came out there and did a great routine.
Right, and Felicia, one of the breakthroughs tonight for the team was beam, where you guys got 5 out of 6 hits there. You were in a new position there as leadoff. Were you nervous for that position, and do you think that made a difference?
I wasn't that nervous. You know, it is a tough position to start out first on any event, but, you know, I just went up there and had confidence and did what I needed to do to get the job done.
Well, congratulations on the all-around win as well. Congratulations on the team win. Brian?
Kentucky earning its first conference win in its last conference meet of the season. If you're going to get it done, you might as well do it then. Once again, final score 195.575 for Kentucky over LSU. My thanks to Lori Strong Ballard, but especially to all of our gymnastic fans for joining us all season long. I'm Brian Drever. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.